Hey, happy Halloween, you silly spooky saps. I'm throwing a curveball at you. If you've been paying attention to most of the videos I've been putting up and out, they're not from the current era. Most of those, in fact, the one that would have come out 2 weeks ago probably was early June. And right now I'm coming to from the end of October. I'm basically filming this video right before I'm going to upload it on, the day that it's coming out. And we are in a mid-autumn woodland here, just outside of Lowell, Massachusetts. A town, or I guess a city, with a that I have a soft spot in my heart for, because I went to school there for six long years of my life, and we're kind of up on the outskirts of it now. They got a nice little state forest. And believe it or not, there's still some stuff going off, and still some botanically interesting stuff. At some point further down the line, you'll see a video out where I'm doing some fall botany. But I'll try not to say too much. We'll keep it condensed, and I'll try not to reference that episode, because really we're here to see one specific spooky plant, and that is Hamamelis virginiana, the Witch-Hazel. And rather than talk about it now, how about we go find it, and then I could talk about it and show it to you then. And I see a couple other stuff going on. You still got some asters blooming, and I just started walking around, so who knows what we'll see, what's still hanging on. But I mean, as you can see, hopefully you got the gist of from the little intro I put together there for you. Oh, this Castanea dentata right there. It's a big one. Same old thing. Just a dead trunk growing way up there, and all the sprouts around it. That episode, I think, was the one that came out last week, actually. So that is a timely reference. I'll reference past videos. I'm making my own rules up here. Get a nice eastern hemlock there, Tsuga canadensis. But yeah. So if you don't know why that tree's important, or why I pointed that out, even though it looks dead, go back and watch the video. I believe the video I uploaded last week about American chestnut. Anyway, I got to pay attention to where I'm going here. I'm going to go down to the spot where they said they were seeing this thing. We're going to enjoy some beautiful fall colors today. Honestly, the content might be pretty slim, because as you can see, most stuff is getting ready to die for the year. You can hear the sirens from the city in the background. And, I've been down here quite a few times. I used to come hang out down here back in the day. But anyway, without further ado, let me go find Hamamelis virginiana. I'll show it to you. I'll show you the fact that it just started flowering, really, and it will continue flowering almost up until the winter, making it one of a handful of plants that will come up in the snow. But I digress. We'll just go take a look at it, okay? Okay, so real quick detour. Just want to show you an interesting plant I didn't really get to talk about much over the summer, and that's this species of Sparganium here. Sparganium is the genus. No clue what species. There's quite a few, and indeed quite a few species native to both the east coast of the U.S. and to temperate, subarctic, and arctic regions around the world. And it's got a real interesting fruit. You might think this is some sort of funky sedge or something. It was actually in its own family at one point, but believe it or not, this is placed sister to Typha in the family Typhaceae. Or I'm sorry, at least I don't know if the genera are placed sister to one another, but it is closely related to Typha, the cattails, who I'm sure you're familiar with. I mean, everybody is familiar with cattails. That's all them out there. And believe it or not, this is a really close relative in the same family, Typhaceae. Not really going to make an attempt at the species, just because there's probably like 10 of them. And they all look relatively the same. It's probably hard. Obviously long since this is flowered now in fruit. Anyway, I thought that'd be interesting to show you really quick. Risk getting my feet all wet. And of course, you get your skunk cabbages, Symphocarpus fluidus, getting into position to bloom sometime at the end of February or the beginning of March. And anything else over here before we carry on? You get some ferns doing their thing here. Every once in a while, you find an orchid someplace like this, and it's always a treat. But maybe not today. All right, let's get out of here. We got a vernal pool over here. That's always nice. You gotta love the, well, I guess not vernal since it persisted, or I think it just filled up. We didn't get much rain this summer. I think this just filled back up. But anyway, we'll press on here. We will press on. We'll go find that witch hazel. We'll go find the spooky plant. Okay, well, you take a step back. There's actually quite a few of them over here. And these look like bare, unassuming trees. You know, I mean, almost without their leaves. You can see that's the leaf shape up there. You know, you might think this guy's on his way out for the season, but in fact, it's flowering right now. This is Hamamelis virginiana here. And these are the flowers. Quite bizarre. So Hamamelis is a family here. You get quite a few of them. Oh God, is this? I forget. Oh, I get tripped up with this one. I can't remember if it's a small family or is this a small genus Hamamelis. I know that this genus Hamamelis, you get 3 in the U.S. 2 are trees. One's this species Hamamelis virginiana, which is the common one. I believe you get Hamamelis ozarkensis, which is limited to the Ozarks. And then there's one other herbaceous species. And then China and Japan both have a species of Hamamelis too. But yes, those are in fact the flowers in there. Hamamelis is the family. Saxifragiles is the order, if I'm not mistaken. And it looks like what they do there is you kind of get little clusters of them. And you get 4 of those little petals hanging off, 4 sepals, 4 anthers, just, you know, parts in 4. And I really want to get up there and see what's going on there with the anthers. Oh, what do we got? A spider? Spider hanging out in the back there. Just really weird the way that those are splayed open, huh? And they kind of look like hell, but I think that they're just getting started. See, that one looks like it's just coming out of bud right now. But really fascinating flower morphology. Let me see. We got any sort of scent to these at all? Not really. Not really even a strong scent. But as you can see, the tree's lost its leaves for the season. Well, almost all their leaves. There's a few of them hanging out here. Less of a tree, more of like a tall shrub. I mean, this is a different species behind it. And there's a pretty robust specimen right there. We'll go take a look at the leaves. But yeah, witch hazel. So interesting for the fact that it blooms here, kind of you know, post frost when it starts getting cold. Also known for having a myriad of uses and also being incredibly toxic. Okay, that's a pretty significant over-exaggeration. The plant isn't actually highly toxic, like I say in the video. So just ignore, you know, that going forward in the video. Probably not something you want to, you know, help yourself to a tall glass of. And even the claims that it's useful as a topical medicine are somewhat dubious. It's been used as a folk remedy by Native Americans and then by you know, New England colonial settlers, certainly, and to this day it continues to be used in skincare products and the like. But highly toxic is definitely something of an over-exaggeration here. Also interesting to note that I didn't say in the video, they actually use the branches of these as divining rods. If you know what that is, you know what that is, and if you don't, basically it's the whole thing where you see people take the stick down and they use it to look for water. So just adding to the whole you know, mystique of a plant called witch hazel. Fascinating plant. Probably not that toxic. Probably shouldn't have said that. That's not necessarily true, nor is the fact that it's widely used as a topical medicine strongly supported by research. It certainly does have astringent properties which will lend themselves to various different, you know, uses as a topical balm or something, but I digress. I'm talking too long about this. I didn't actually find any information on the toxicity of this plant other than the fact that it's potentially not that toxic. So take that for what you will. They make a oil, you know, witch hazel, whatever you call it. It's like they put on your skin, you know, for poison ivy and whatever. Just a weird, you know, one of those things with medicine where it's, what's the difference between poison and medicine? Oh, the amount you take. So you could put it on your skin. I guess it's good for your skin, good for getting poison ivy off you. But if you ingest it, it is in fact highly toxic. You get quite a few more flowers up there towards the top that are looking a little bit better. But let's go pull one of these leaves down over here. And I mean, the species is super important, I guess, for butterflies. I think a lot of different species. Oh, you get kind of maybe a mutated leaf there. There's the leaf right there. Oh, it's kind of fuzzy. That's kind of nice. It's really fuzzy on the underside. It's a host species for a bunch of different species of butterfly. I think they get the oil from the bark. It's got that pretty smooth bark. I mean, nothing really super noticeable about it. But yeah, I mean, I heard about it as a tree that blooms almost into, I think it will bloom into November. I mean, you can go online and find pictures of this thing. Almost encased in ice after like a November ice storm. You get the dendrolycopodiums down here with their little strobili out. Dendrolycopodium, I haven't talked about these guys in forever. Lycopods, so this is think fern, but more primitive. Instead of having euphylls like every other type of vascular plant. It is a vascular plant. This has something called lycophylls. So it's a little bit more, so it's got vasculature, unlike a moss or a liverwort, but it's not quite evolved those true leaves like you get in ferns. So it's a spore-producing vascular plant, but that's not what we're here to talk about. It's a fascinating one, but you can get into that on your own. Going back to this Hamamelis virginiana. So I'll put the information about Hamamelis because I think Hamamelis gets some interesting facts just on its own. So then these hang out, and then the fruits develop over winter, and then I think it's dropping its fruits, if I'm not mistaken, dropping its fruits right around the same time it's putting its leaves out. And why it opts for what I would imagine is a stressful flowering and reproductive strategy. Why it does that, it's kind of beyond me, but I can always, look more into it and then put the information down below. That's kind of what we were here to see today. There's a couple other plants we'll go check out on the way out. We looked at that chestnut tree back there. Go check out the episode before this. Got more info about chestnuts, and we found our target species in about 10 minutes, which I knew it was here. I just wanted to hike out, and it's got a nice little grove here on the edge of a wetland. You can see this guy over here is doing a little bit better. This guy's kind of lit up with flowers. That's really nice. It's a cool plant, You could plant these out. I mean, people got these in their yards. There's different, I think there's different cultivars of them even. And people have oh God, my brain's kind of fried today. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, this is a good one to plant, though. I think you can get these. You could put them in your yard if assuming you've got enough moisture. But we'll leave it there for the witch hazel for now. Not just interesting because it flowers. I mean, I think this thing plays host to something like 50 different species of butterfly too. The butterflies, I think Lepidoptera, that genera really likes these, or the swallowtails or something. Something's hanging out on these. Similar to like that Lindera benzoin, where it's just like, it gets lit up with butterflies. But I think it's the specific host to species that might be completely wrong. And I'll correct myself if necessary. But in any case, I think we're going to move on here. We'll see if we can see some other stuff, and then we'll probably shut this one down. I got a little experimental thing I'm going to do at the end of this video, and we'll see if people like it. They might hate it. In fact, I'm sure they'll hate it, or they'll think it's stupid. But we'll see. A bit further down the road, we got a really robust specimen of that Hamamelis virginiana here. So you can see this guy, how attractive this plant could be, lit up with these beautiful, delicate yellow flowers. It really is lovely. Yeah, I guess you just got those four petals that kind of just dangled down. Looks like a little firecracker. What a curious little tree. And then that one back there that I walked right by. You can see it from here. Just lit up with the little yellow flowers. Post frost, pre-snow here. It's already got plenty of snow up north, up in New Hampshire, up in the mountains. Pre-snow here. Probably won't come in. Usually doesn't come in until November, but of course that's getting later and later every year. So who actually knows? Leaves are really starting to change here, but winter has already paid a visit to quite a few spots north of here in higher elevation than here. But yeah, let's see what else, if anything, we get to look at. I mean, I know there's a couple cool looking asters I wanted to see on the way out. Yeah, man, check out this Acer pennsylvanica here. Got the striped maple with leaves the size of my hand. Geez, this is a big boy for a striped maple. I don't really see many of them down here. Tons of them up in the mountains where they're getting a little bit smaller. Ooh, something's using that to wrap itself up in. Yeah, usually with the leaf size closer to this, but yeah, you get some big honking leaves on this tree. Here's like he's sending up another one from the base. The actual trunk's doing just fine though, but you can see how they just, I mean, they're not even close to doing what the Pinus strobus, those white pines, can do. You've got another maple next to them, thinner, probably a red maple or a sugar maple. Again, I'm bad with maples, and I really should learn more about them because it's pretty interesting. So this guy might even be younger than that guy, but he's already pretty much the same height. I don't know that for sure, of course. I'd have to cut the rings and actually look at it, which I'm obviously not going to do. But predominantly an understory tree. You don't usually see them getting that big. Hey, look, you get some dried out husks of a Pyrola here. Maybe a Pyrola americana or Pyrola. I think the other one's elliptica. Just, you know, very suspiciously looking like all of its cousins in the Monotropoideae subfamily. They all just have that really distinct fruit shape, usually with some form of persistent stigma, which you can see right there, right on my thumbnail. But yeah, I love these guys. They're doing much better. I'm seeing more of these Pyrola here than I am Monotropa. Of course, I think this is another one of those ericaceous plants. I think this is a oh god, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't know this one. What I do know is that this is absolutely one of the Pyrolas, which I somehow missed in bloom. Well, there's a whole bunch of them when I stand up and I look all down through here. I can see the little seed pods coming up. I somehow missed them in bloom this year because I was hyperfixated on getting a Chimaphila maculata shots while that was in bloom, and I guess they bloom right around the same time. So that's on me. But anyway, yeah, you know, you get some good stuff. You got to get used to not looking at flowers if you want to, you know, keep botanizing in the fall. Doing it in the spring and summer is nice. I mean, even in the early fall, plenty of flowers in early fall. But now is the time of year where you really have to use your imagination, and you're either having to, you know, really look, because what you're looking at is dead and gone for the year, or just kind of know what to look for. Yeah, see, here we go for the millionth time looking at the seed pods of the seeds of a Monotropa uniflora. So same subfamily as that Pyrola back there. And I mean, you see what I'm talking about, right? Just that really specific dried up husky, like a oval shaped seed pod with the stigma sticking out the front. They all do that. And you know, Pyrola, Chimaphila, Monessus, all those guys, they kind of want to take those out of that whole subfamily, put them in their own subfamily, Pyroloideae, and then just leave the parasitic ones. So the Monotropas, the Andromeda, Pterosporas, the Allotropas, the Sarcodes, leave those guys in Monotropoideae and take the non-parasitic ones out, which I still haven't found a paper that's, I mean, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I think it just depends on what your specific favored treatment is. I'm not qualified to really argue one way or the other. But anyway, those two treatments do exist, and I think it's worth pointing out that they do. So I don't know if we're going to come across these asters again, but if I do, I'll show you. Once they came down through here, it looked like they chopped a bunch of stuff back. But if I do, I will show you. But in the event that I don't, yeah, I'll do a regular sign off in a minute here. But yeah, it's not really much to show this time of year. I mean, there is, but there isn't. It just, like all things, it depends on where you're at. But yeah, let's pause this right here, and then I will keep going when I see anything worth note. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up about here. One thing I really wish I could transfer to you through the through the camera, which I'm not able to, is just the smell of a New England fall. Simultaneously smelling like decay, but also sweet, but also musty. Just a really complex amalgam of an aroma. Oh, look at the huge burl on that oak tree right there. Jesus. Just crisp. Crisp is how I would describe it. The smell of ground microbes breaking down leaf litter into sugar and various other compounds. And the smell of perhaps a distant, far-off wood fire burning. It's quite nice. It's quite pleasant. But this is going to be, what I can only imagine is the last video I'll really be able to film for the year. Because we're staring down the barrel of November. And then not soon after that, most stuff will be covered in snow and ice until the spring. But rest assured, those videos are still going to come out. I've got like a backlog of enough videos to do one almost every week for the next year, but we'll keep up with the every other week for now. And you let me know if you think that I should be putting these videos out more frequently. I'm gonna try and start doing some interviews, so maybe we can bulk up the catalog with that. But this is the last one I think I'm gonna film for this year, and then we'll probably pick back up. I'll do a redux video on that skunk cabbage. There's some Cistaceae, some crocanthemums that'll be blooming pretty damn early in the year, actually. They call them frost weeds after all. And we'll go from there. There's a whole bunch of stuff I didn't get to look at, didn't get to see this summer. And we'll get to it after, we'll get to it after the winter. It's always next year. Didn't do any videos in Vermont. Didn't do anything down in the mid-Atlantic. Probably have to do a video on Long Island at some point because you got some weird stuff going on down there, kind of analogous to the stuff on the Cape. And we'll definitely be doing more stuff on the Cape and in the White Mountains. There's a whole different thing going on up there later on in the season. I didn't really get a chance to look at this year, but I digress. I hope you at least found this marginally interesting. Yeah, see, look, there's another. They're everywhere over here. There's another Castanea dentata right there. Another one of those American chestnuts just dying back. But what a poor bastard. You got any of the galls on you? Where the blights got you? As you can see on the old growth right there. They just kind of burst at the seams. It's actually pretty gnarly when you think about it. But you see he's coming out of the ground here too. Not a new recruit, not a new sprout, just a root sucker off of this guy. But we'll be back in the spring with some new videos. You'll have all winter and fall to enjoy this back catalog I put together. We're only up to early June, and I was filming pretty damn heavily through June, July, into August, and it kind of tapers off in September. But by then, if I do my math correctly, I'll already be filming new material, so you might get a treat. I'd love to do these weekly. I just got to find some way to either stretch the material or talk to some people, do like an interview every other week and do a video on the odd weeks, or you know what I mean. So anybody who is a professional or who does interesting research, maybe they're a student, maybe they run an interesting plant-related business and they want to talk to me, they should let them know to hit me up. I should start putting like my email or something if people want to contact me, if they want to hurl some insults my way or something like that. But I hope you wouldn't do that. I hope you wouldn't be mean to me. It's okay though if you are, I understand. In any case, I think we're just gonna cut it off here. I gotta get going. I got stuff to do today. I was busy yesterday, and I'll be busy tomorrow. And even though it's still Sunday morning, I gotta spend the afternoon taking care of some important business. So tune in. I think the stuff starts to get really interesting in the next video. I mean, I've already had some videos I consider interesting, but you still haven't seen any of the Mount Washington videos. You wouldn't have seen any of the Cape Cod videos yet. You don't even know that I've done that, probably. Not even a hint. Those are coming down the pipeline a little bit further down. I got a video in a bog coming out soon. Got one on this invasive iris that I think will be pretty soon after this one, but you know, this one might not be to your taste, but I wanted to send the season off, so to speak. Oh goddamn! Look at that thing. Yeah, rest assured, I'll be getting. Jeez, exercise my hand. Rest assured, I'll be getting more into mushrooms this winter too. That's beautiful. Beautiful fall mushroom. Anytime you notice the undergrowth starts to taper out because you get too many pine trees, and it's just pine needles leaching into the ground, they're usually working with some interesting mushrooms. You always get some pretty cool mushrooms coming up under pine trees, which is why you get a lot of fungal parasites also come up under pine trees. Pinus strobus, everybody. Classic northeastern tree. Yeah, you get it. I think you get it up in the northern parts of the Midwest too. Anyway, I was thoroughly impressed by that mushroom. I should go take an actual picture of the thing. All right, have a good one. Okay, so I'm always bad at ending my videos on time. I actually stumbled across that Aster again. It is a Symphyotrichum. I should have known. Just a lot of them have those really colorful disc florets there on the inside. Hang on, let me stop shaking so I can show you the filaries there. But it's a Symphyotrichum. Cordifolium, I believe, because it's got those cordate leaves there. Cordate referring to what you have going on at the base here. Yeah, quite lovely margins to that too. Kind of sandpapery. But the Symphyotrichum, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them down. I'm gonna be able to pick them all out. All 50, 60 fucking species that you get. Because I kind of like them. Oh, you get some bits exerted there. Very nice. They're all kind of nice. I believe they're all pretty easy to grow. The little dinky guy here. Beautiful color on these too. Jeez, it's a common blue aster is the name, but that one's almost purple. That one down there. Beautiful plant. Yeah, that was one of them. I saw a solidago, but I'm not going to go hunting for the solidago again. Symphyotrichum, cordifolium. Presumably because it's got those cordate leaves. Can't imagine what else. Coming up next to some sort of weird old machine or fire pit. Someone had a pet grave back there. Someone's definitely got a fire going. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I think I gotta figure out how to get out of here. I went the wrong way, and I'm on the quote wrong side of the tracks here. More of that Symphyotrichum. It goes off late. They got other Symphyotrichum that are going off pretty late in the year, but that guy, geez, he's going off really late. Some of those aren't even opened yet. And of course, that doesn't exclude the fact that that could just be a eco type thing. And if you find that plant growing somewhere else, it could in fact be well past flowering. All right, I'm cutting it off there. I gotta scurry on back home, get some stuff ready for the rest of my Sunday. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween. I mean it. I really do. Stay out of trouble. I know you won't, but I hope you do.